So now I gotta weigh in. So like
Yeah.
I think red is one of my favorites actually. That's like top of my list. We're
Let me try to
opposites.
find the
They
mute
say
button here.
they
No,
say opposites attract here, Joe. But that's my preference though in the Skittles category is the purple bag. I think that's the tropical flavors, and those are the ones that I enjoy the most. I don't know, but if
somebody
we're
said that. They were like, hey, why would you settle for the original when you can have the tropical or the
the
berry or
tropical
like,
is like so far superior more than the original. I know the original has some nostalgia for people, but like that tropical level, it's like you're on an island by yourself, man, eating Skittles, and it's like the sun's shining on you. It's so great.
get
Yeah,
out of here, bro? Yeah, because
it's a
that's what
party
happened.
in your mouth. Hey, what's up, CBG fam? Thanks for tuning into this episode. As always, we are brought to you by our sponsors. That is Fearless Nonprofit. Fearless Nonprofit is a growing outreach ministry that seeks to fearlessly treat the world in a way that encourages love, family, and faith in Jesus. And very exciting, out now is their biblically based trading card game, Victory 7. Yes, the one that we have been talking about is available now. So if you want to learn more about this ministry, or if you'd like to pick up the game, go to fearlessnonprofit.org. We also are sponsored by Camp Living Waters, the one, the only Camp Living Waters located in Luther, Michigan, that is home of the Game Changer Board Gaming Retreat. Man, they have so much to offer there, and it's an amazing place to get away in God's presence. So if you want to learn more about them or sign up for a retreat, check them out at camplivingwaters.org. You can follow both of our sponsors on their socials on Facebook and Instagram. Huge shout out and thank you to our sponsors.
Welcome to the Christian Board Gamers Podcast, where we focus on Jesus, community, and board games. Let's have some fun.
What is up? You are listening to the Christian Board Gamers Podcast, proud members of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. We are so stoked to be here today. It's going to be a fantastic episode. I just realized as I started recording this that I've worn back-to-back same hoodies. Hope y'all don't mind. It's going to rock it. We're going to be good. It's cool. Ray, what is up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, Joe. Hey, I actually was going to say something about that, but I didn't want to bring attention to. No, I didn't even notice at all. You're probably the only person that would notice at all. But isn't it funny how we get into our own head about that thing? Like, I do that from Sunday to Sunday at church. I'm like, didn't I wear these same khakis last Sunday? Everybody's going to be judging me at church because we know that's what people do at church, right? We judge people on their appearance. No, I'm just joking. Hey, I'm doing excellent. I'm ready for a great show this evening. We got some great things for the people and our listeners. I'm excited to be here as always, man.
Yeah.
Ready to get into it.
And you can tell we're recording at night because we're both alive and like, let's get it. Like we're all in.
All this energy just to be spent. I'm ready to go.
Last week it started and we were like, hey, we're having our teas and our biscuits. It's so good.
The morning tea.
So it's very different. Yeah, the only reason why I know I was wearing the same one is just before I clicked on the record, I saw the last thumbnail and I was like, oh, I'm literally wearing the exact same outfit. This is good.
It's a good hoodie. It's a good hoodie.
Yeah, it is. It's super comfortable. It's a little chilly in my basement.
You know what we should do is we should Photoshop a cat shirt on you so when we make the thumbnail, people don't even know.
Don't even know, and then they start watching, and they're like, "Wait, where'd the cat shirt go?" I mean, that's kind of deceptive. I don't really.
It's a little clickbaity, but we can do it. We can do it.
Actually, I don't think I've ever worn a cat shirt. Not that I could remember.
It's time, Joe. It's time.
No, I don't.
You're of age.
Actually, I take that back. I will be rocking a cat shirt because there's a new Christian Board Gamers podcast shirt that's recently been designed and was literally just put out, and it's pretty dope because it's a cat and the cat is screaming. The cat's got a crown and it says the Christian Board Gamers. And if you know, you know, man. This is just a throwback to Ray and his cat overlords. But I actually think the shirt looks a little fire. I didn't love that it was a square. I'm like, I couldn't get it right to have it work the way I wanted to. So I was like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna throw this thing on a square. Who cares? It's gonna work. And I think it's an awesome shirt. So I will rock a cat shirt when I have that shirt come in. So I'm just saying that's gonna happen. So
I can't wait. It'll
be the first one. So But yeah, hey, we're going to dive in here. But before we do, we want to talk about our CBG loot drop at gmail.com. That's CBG loot drop at gmail.com. And at this email address, you can send us your game suggestions that you want us to play. We do a segment called It's Your Turn, which we're actually going to be doing today, which is going to be cool. We're going to be talking about a game that somebody submitted, as well as tabletop testimonies, where we actually want to hear what God is doing at your game table. Send those things again to cbglootdrop at gmail.com. We're going to play as many of these games as we can, which is fun because we get to play games that maybe we weren't thinking to play. And we have a really cool game store, as we mentioned in the past, with a massive library. They have the largest library in Michigan, I believe. I think it even says that on their sign. It's huge, and they get just about everything. So we're excited. So send those submissions. Again, unless you got some rare, obscure game that ain't nobody ever heard of but you, it's going to be very difficult to do that. And we even have some content creators that are designing games. They're like, would you try to play mine? Like, sure, yeah, we would consider that. So again, submit your game, cbglootdrop at gmail.com. But most importantly, we really want to lean into these tabletop testimonies. And I will say we haven't gotten a ton of those, and that's kind of a bummer. But we know that they're out there, and sometimes it takes time, right? And we know that maybe people haven't had those experiences because maybe they haven't been using games in that way, but now they're starting to see, hey, man, I can use games to reach people for Jesus. And so those testimonies will come. We're just laying the groundwork and the foundation, right? We didn't expect that this season we were going to have tons of all of this content, right? We've gotten a lot of game suggestions, but we the tabletop testimonies, we figured this was going to take time. We're not just doing it these seasons. Right. This is going to be ongoing. We really want to be able to pour in because this is why we're here. We want to talk about board games, but most importantly, we want to lift our Lord's name on high. We want to glorify him in all that we're saying, all that we're doing. This podcast is Christian board gamers, the Christ being the first and foremost. So, we're excited about that. And again, got some trips coming up, so I'm sure there'll be some tabletop testimonies that are coming flying out of that. Yeah, man, I just went on it. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's the evening, so like it's flowing out.
The
like,
evening hits different, man. You know.
Yeah, I'm drinking that Spin Drift. This episode is brought to you by Spin Drift. This is that like unsweetened lime, delicious drink, bro. If you've been drinking Sprite and you're like, I need to stay away from the sugar, get yourself a Spin Drift. Spin Drift.
They should pay us for that.
Unofficial sponsor.
That can looks delicious. It kind of looks like a lemon lime Skittles, something that I would.
Skittles! Hey, there was a Skittles argument that happened in the CBG Discord.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so Bill Ivey, who's been on the show, he wrongly positioned how he would eat the Skittles. Like, he had a bag of Skittles out, and then he laid them out like all in a cluster because he only he separates them. You can't have all the colors melding at one time in your mouth. You have to eat them individually. But he had like a order. Let me see if I can pull.
But we know Bill has some weird eating habits at the table because with the chocolate and the peanut butter and the chips at the same time and all that, I imagine his Skittles setup is probably a little wacky.
A little wacky, yeah. Let me see here.
I love you, Bill.
Yeah, Bill, you're awesome. But man, what are you doing when you're with your eating? Oh man, where is this? Where did he put it? It was in the. Is it in the general chat? I gotta find this. Hold on. No, it wasn't there. I know it's here. Bear with me. I was not thinking about doing this, but I know we have had this convo. I think it might be in the photos. It's in the photo section. P.S. If you're not in the Discord, you should get in the Discord because
it's a good place.
It is awesome.
I recently put a picture of the Overlords here at the space. My recording space there. So
here it is.
One of them.
Yeah, I found him, and this turned into quite the debate because Bill said the only proper way to eat Skittles, and he kind of had them all separated out. And he says just entire piles at a time, and then moves on to other flavors. And then it turned into this conversation where like another person was like, I hope you finish with the green or yellow last, as they are the undisputed best flavors of the original batch. And then, Bill says, no, got to start with purple to get rid of it, and end with the far superior orange. It just turned into this like massive thing. And then somebody was like, man, the CBG Discord just fractured and dissolved into the great jihad for lemon is the only supreme thing, as the prophecy in Leviticus 28:17 said would happen. Like, it just turned into this like really epic And then it turned into blasphemy. Purple is the best. I mean, this is what you guys are missing if you're not in the Discord. And then Bill chimed in again, and he ranked them, and he said that purple is less than yellow or green. And then I chimed in and was like, yo, bro, like if we're talking green apple Skittles, those things, like that's when Skittles were dead to me. When they removed lime and got the Skittles, I haven't eaten them like that in a long time, right? And then it was turned out that in 2021, Skittles brought lime back because everybody like went nuts about the green apple. And so they brought it back. But I realized the Skittles gummies kept the green apple, but the regular Skittles went with the lime, which is, again, the best, right? So like I really like my order here. Let me see. I think I chimed in and put my order. I just gotta find
this is a heavy conversation on Skittles, man.
Oh, it was. It was. I then posted like my Mike and Ike's thing, and it was like it's called Jolly Joe's. They're the all grape ones because purple is phenomenal. Like why I don't understand this. Like I'll eat purple just to get rid of it. Like I eat purple like out the gate, bro, because purple is where it's at. For sure. But yeah, it turned into like a massive conversation. And honestly, as I'm flipping through here, Ray and Joe are going to need to weigh in on on this controversy in the next podcast. I forgot about that.
Well, I don't think I'm adequately prepared to weigh in on my Skittles debate because I want to make sure it's well thought out and meticulously watched over how I put it on my list, my ranking order. I just don't want to go into this flippantly and rub some feathers the wrong way,
Well, fine. I'm just going to kick the door down because I already did. So my order was purple, orange, yellow, red, green. Right? Unless green is lemon lime, right? Now that it's lime, it's going to come up, and red is going to be last, right? So I'm going to go purple, I'm going to go orange, I'm going to go green as lime, and then I'm going to go yellow, and then I'm going to go red. That would be
So is that the order that you would eat them in, or your best to worst?
That's my best to worst, right? That's like my favorite to my least favorite.
Red is the worst.
Again, it's not bad. It's just my least favorite.
I see.
And red 40 ain't good for you.
Okay, so now I got to weigh in. So like, I think red is one of my favorites. Actually, that's like top of my list. We're
try to find the mute button here.
They say opposites attract here, Joe. But that's my preference though in the Skittles category is the purple bag. I think that's the tropical flavors, and those are the ones that I enjoy the most. I don't know.
Somebody said that. They were like, "Hey, why would you settle for the original when you can have the tropical or the berry?"
The tropical is like so far superior more than the original. I know the original has some nostalgia for people, but like that tropical level, it's like you're on an island by yourself, man, eating Skittles, and it's like the sun's shining on you. It's so great.
Get out of here, bro. Yeah, because
that's
a
party in your mouth, Joe.
Right. When I open a bag of Skittles, I'm like, oh, it's just like being on a beach. Said nobody ever, bro, except for you in this moment at this time. Either way.
Yeah. I digress on the Skittles. Well,
that's your fault. You didn't even know that was going on when you said that.
I didn't know the can of Spindrift I was opening when I did that. Hey, something terrible has happened. I got called into work.
No way.
Yeah, I did. And
what are the odds of that? As we were just talking about, wow, it would be wild if you got called into work.
Yeah, it would be wild. So now I'm thinking like, what the best case scenario here is? Yeah. Do we like pause and I go and come back and then we resume and just edit it?
Yeah.
Do you continue to carry a conversation about Skittles for the next hour without me?
Yeah, sure.
Do I get one of the cats and put them up here in the seat and see if they can hold the fort down for me?
Honestly, they'd probably be better at me, better than me at doing it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey,
we've never ran into the situation.
Let's put a poll out to our audience. Oh, they all said, let's pause and then we can just edit it in because we'll have and it'll be better here. So excuse me. The Spindrift just came out. So we're going to pause. Ray's going to go to work. What time are you going to be home, Ray? What are we looking at?
Maybe I'm going to guess 8.
Dang, you're going to get in there at 7, go in, save somebody's life, and then get back by 8?
Yeah, it's weird how it happens from time to time. But this is more of like a pinch hitter coming in the 9th inning and closing the game out. So
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Let's pause. We can wait an hour. Nobody will know. It'll be like time lapse, and everyone will be back, and we'll be good. I'm down. I will see. I'll see you at 8, right? And until then, pause. And when we pick this back up, y'all are going to love it. It's going to be fantastic.
All right.
Peace. And we're back. I know that felt like no time for y'all, but it was literally like an hour for us,
about an hour.
an hour
Yeah.
plus, which is cool. Get things moving. But we are back, and we are ending the great Skittles debate. Actually, we aren't ending anything. We're probably just creating more controversy. Speaking
No, it's
of,
settled. We settled it before I left, so
yeah.
So we're done.
Settled might be a big word for that. It might be. I also created accidentally another debate because I was talking about Fun First Productions games, triple scoops with a cherry on top, which is a Fire Family game, man. Definitely want to check that out from Fun First Productions. But I was talking about cake cones versus sugar cones, and everybody's all like, hey, we need an intervention because Joe said the cake cones were better than a sugar cone. And I'm like, yo, look, it's not even that. This is the fact. The bottom of a cake cone, when you get the ice cream sitting in that last bite and it's just in the bottom, bro, there are few food experiences that are better than that. When you have that last bite. Like, I learned this from my wife, bro. So if y'all got an issue, you can take it up with her, bro. She's 22 years in the Army. Like, she's just saying, bro, have fun with that. So here's the deal. Like, she got me on this, right? Because I was a sugar cone guy before. But then she's like, that last bite, and I just started doing it. And the more I did it, the more I was like, bro, that last bite in a sugar cone, all the ice cream just sitting in it, and it's just like the best bite. It's got a little crunch, but it's like good. The ice cream, so good. So I created another food controversy because that's what we do. Here on the Christian Board Gamers podcast.
We're so controversial.
Yeah, we create food controversies, and people feel like one guy told me I needed to repent, bro. He's like, you need to repent. And I was like, from what? Delicious ice cream cones? Like, I don't understand. I'm fine with it. I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to stick to it.
I don't know the last time that I had ice cream in a cone. I always just get one baby scoop in a cup because that's all I can. The last cone that I've eaten was like a sundae that came out of the box,
Huh? Oh, like one of the drumsticks or whatever?
Yeah, like the drumsticks.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
but those are good too. I ain't got nothing wrong with that. But bro, we got to go to 1010 or something up here, and like at the end, get yourself a nice little soft serve cone.
Yeah,
and make it hit.
I guess
bro.
I got a lot to look for. I got a lot of things with ice cream to take care of.
Dude, I was looking up Spumoni yesterday for you. I was trying to find it. The closest one I found is like 48 miles away. I'm like,
oh wow, yeah.
It's that's
gonna be that's I got a good plan for that. So if you're listening. Keep listening to see when the Spumoni is gonna drop. You're gonna be excited.
Yeah,
I got a good plan.
I'm heading to the East Coast. Well, I mean the East Coast. I'll be at PAX, but I'm heading to the East Coast here soon, and so I might get some Spumoni while I'm out there because it's much more prevalent than it is out here. I mean, to the point where I got to drive 48 miles to even get Spumoni.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear your plan.
Yeah, I got one.
So
I got
that's
one.
good, awesome. Well, hey, you guys probably didn't come here to hear us talk about Skittles and ice cream,
food. Like,
and
this is a foodie podcast.
All sorts of random stuff, bro. But again,
now somebody's hungry. They're gonna turn the podcast off and go get some Skittles and ice cream,
or keep it on and eat Skittles and ice cream while you're listening. Because
better plan.
Plan. Yeah, I think if I was eating some ice cream, I'd want to listen to us ramble about it. I don't know. But yeah, this is the Christian Board Gamers podcast. It's not the Christian controversial food podcast, which could be a fun podcast. The Christian controversial food podcast. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's awesome. And we can roll with it, and that's cool. But we actually want to talk about some board games.
Hey!
Yeah, like we mentioned in the beginning, we actually got to play one of the It's Your Turn games that came in through the CBG Loot Drop. CBGLootDrop@gmail.com. That's CBGLootDrop@gmail.com. All right, and it came in, and actually, this is dope, bro. This is from Alex Z, who actually in the Discord makes all these dope emojis based on things he hears on the podcast. So shout out to Alex.
So creative.
Yeah, no doubt. And we got this one a while back, and we finally got to it. And Ray had actually, I'm burying the lead intentionally. Ray had played this game back at the Game Changer in April. I had not, so this is my first time playing it. And my brother-in-law,
April of last year.
Was it last year? No, not 2024. Really? You've only been...
Dude, I had a baby April
that's right.
this year.
Right. Yeah, thanks. That's wild.
Yeah.
Wasn't thinking about that. So, yeah, that makes sense. And so, yeah, geez, that was a while. And and my brother-in-law owned it, so he was like, hey, you guys can borrow it. And we had a great time playing Clank Catacombs.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and so I played the OG Clank at a Grand Con a few years ago at this point, and really enjoyed it. So I was excited to get Clank Catacombs to the table, and man, oh man, it did not disappoint. That game is
Nope.
so fun, so
Yeah,
fun.
it was a great pleasure. I had much amusement playing the game there,
Good.
and yes, it
It
was
was a merriment.
it was very enjoyable for sure. Very pleasurable, and got a lot of gratification out of that game, Joe. So yeah, I can't. Yeah, let's dig into it, man,
That's
because
so good.
this is this
We're
game was
desperately
good.
trying not to say words like fun. Like that game was fun. It's like
Yeah.
Guy Fieri, again, Food Network, right? Guy Fieri in the Food Network. He's like, man, that burger had a ton of flavor. And I'm like, duh, bro, it's a burger.
Yeah.
Like naturally it has flavor, whether it's good or bad.
Back to
But
the food we go.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
hey, but listen, this is funny. So one of the synonyms, as while
Synonyms.
I'm looking this up, is beer and Skittles is a synonym for fun. Who knew?
Who knew?
So this game is all the beer and Skittles you want, I guess. No, man.
Oh, man.
In all seriousness, it had great mirth.
Seriously?
I can't talk. It had great mirth to it, Joe. And we had a lot of laughter while we played, brought a lot of glee and liveliness. So yeah, man. Clank Catacombs is wildly fun. This game checked all the boxes for me. It was great. I played it at, like you said, the Game Changer before, and when we played it there, I loved it. Then I was like, this game is awesome, man. It's great. And the sad thing that happened there was we were going into one of the sessions, so I didn't actually get to finish the game.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was building steam, like I had a good grasp on it, and I started understanding what the game was about and how to, like, I had got my treasure, I'm coming out of the dungeon, and then you guys were like, hey, time to wrap it up. Just quit wherever you're at. I was like, I feel like I'm winning. No. So I was happy to get it back to the table. I was happy that Alex Z, thank you so much for putting that in our CBG loot drop. That's cbglootdrop@gmail.com. Thank you for putting that in our loot drop, man, to play it and get it out, because this game was super fun. And it was great watching you, because you were like, it was like 3 turns in, and you were like, yep, this game's great. Yep. It's fire.
It doesn't take me long, right? Yeah. But now that you said this game is awesome, for some reason, Belle Biv DeVoe popped in my head. It's like, this game is awesome. I think about it all the time.
Hey, I like it.
Now that's it's driving me out of my mind. This dragon's hard for me to find. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like it. I was feeling that. I was vibing with it.
Yeah.
I think that they should have that as a commercial for it.
Sorry. All right, yeah. Again, bro, we were recording tonight. This is what happens, and we had an hour-long break, so anything's gonna occur.
Yes, we're getting squirrely.
No, I absolutely love the game. I love the deck building elements and bringing those cards in. Man, those cards were exponentially important. And that balance of like spending the skill and, man, I don't have what I need, or like trying to like, when you're going from one space to another to be able to move those spaces, that's challenging, like having those boots. But then also like the various, like the monster icon that you're encountering that's giving you the damage, and you're trying not to take that damage, and then the balance of all of that, plus like, again, the card flipping over, like when it reveals, and I love that multi-use. Now the card's revealed. Oh, you're like, it doesn't have a dragon icon. Like, phew, all right, cool. We're square. We're safe. And we played with my wife and my oldest son. And I think we had an absolute blast. Lots of laughter.
We did.
Very fun. My oldest was like, all right, bro, I got an artifact, like I'm getting out, and he's just like beelining out, because he's like, y'all are gonna die, like I'm getting out of here. And it was a really cool tension in the game, and I like and the revealing of the tiles too, man, because like you would just think, I'm revealing a tile, but like those tiles, they were like circumstantial, like to the point where it mattered. So it's like I'm flipping this over, and I'm like, I need that to be XYZ thing. Like I built my whole plan on hoping a tile was going to go a particular
Yes.
direction, and it did not. And it was like, well, there goes my whole plan. I just created like an infinite loop, and I'm like,
Yeah, it
And
gets
so,
tough down there in the catacombs. Yeah, so just as a brief explanation for anybody who doesn't know,
yeah.
Clank Catacombs is a second installation of Clank, which in the catacombs, you are actually start with a center tile and you are going down into the dungeon. You're trying to retrieve a treasure and bring it back out before you either take too much damage from the dragon and get knocked out that way, or somebody else gets out first, and then yeah, basically everybody gets knocked out. So if you are left inside the catacombs, which are marked by purple tiles, then you receive nothing. You receive no points, you receive no treasure, and you're just kind of like, did all that work for nothing. But if you make it out, then you add up all your points of various styles between treasures and different idols that you grab, or idols probably is the wrong word to use on a Christian
There's
podcast, but
artifacts.
artifacts. And well, I mean, they had monkey idols. That's why I was like
True.
thinking
Oh
that.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But then there's various points on the card and things that you get, and major secrets, minor secrets. You're freeing prisoners. You're doing tasks along the way that it's really engaged, and you can only move so many spaces based on the cards as you build your deck. And you're making Clank along the way. There's cards that say that you stumble,
Yeah.
and so you add one Clank. And I love this. So you throw your Clank cubes in the bag, the little cubes that represent your player, and when the dragon comes out, you have to shake up the bag and then draw X number of Clanks related to where the dragon tracker is. And so there's ghost in there, which are represented by white tiles, each player's respective color, dragon tiles, which are the black ones, which you receive no damage for. And so as you mix it up, you start pulling these tiles out, and you're like, man, I have a
The
lot of
cubes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the cubes.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good.
Yes,
You're good. You're good.
you start pulling the cubes out, and you're like, man, I have a lot of cubes in there. But then you don't draw any, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I missed it. But the odds are going to be against you at some point because your cubes are going to get drawn. And so there's just a lot of chance in the game with the flipping of the tiles and the cubes coming out, and what cards are going to be flipped in the rows that after for your decks, and in the market essentially that you're building from. And I like that variability. I like the excitement in not knowing. And like you said, my strategy, I have one, but I don't know if it's going to work well because I don't know what's coming next,
Right.
and so you got to be flexible in that game. You can't fall in love with any one route or strategy and grab your treasure and get out.
Yeah, no
So
doubt. Well,
yeah.
and I love the Clank like onboarding area, right? Where you're like adding Clanks kind of to the board, and then when the dragon comes, then they all get added. And what I love
Yeah.
about that is because I can try to remove them. And
Yes.
some of the removals are just like, hey, remove 2 Clank. Another one are like, you can remove them if you're in this particular situation. And you're like, I'm not in that particular situation, but I have to play all the cards in my hand.
Uh-huh.
And some of those cards are good and some of them are bad. Like Ray said, I got a stumble card. Well, that's not fun. And then they have like acquire. So like when you acquire something, that card gives you that effect. They have like an activate, like or an enter effect essentially. So like when it like arrives, the arrive effect, it arrives,
Yes.
it does something, and that's like, man, like the game is so fun, dude. It has
Yeah.
so many fun elements to it. And
Every
there's
element
so
of it.
much
Yes.
tension. And I was like, oh, I literally said while we were playing, I said, oh, I don't think I'm getting this one back to my brother-in-law for quite a while. So Matt, if you're listening to this, just know it's on my shelf, and I'm holding it hostage
Yeah.
because I'm
He put his
definitely
name on the
playing this again.
box. Yeah.
I
It
got my
is.
sticker.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so fun, man. Yeah, and so much replayability because it's going to be a new board every time.
Yep.
Things are going to come out differently. Like at one point, I literally tried to figure out. I flipped 3 tiles because I was trying to get one of the artifacts. I was like,
Yep.
I have to have an artifact because there's no way I can make this huge loop to get back around to where the other artifacts
Oh,
are.
yeah.
And so, by the third one, thank the Lord that it flipped over and an artifact came out. And you were like, I needed that. I needed that tile. And
Yeah.
so,
Oh, yeah.
oh man. Yeah, it was loads of fun, man. It was just as enjoyable the very first time I played it as we played this time, and so yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and if I remember, you won, which was good.
that
I mean, it's
yeah.
it's so funny because I sat down with you and Stephanie at the table. I just looked at Asher. I'm like, it's one of them. They'll win, but that's fine. We're gonna have a good
Yeah,
time doing it, and we
yeah,
did. And I think each of us took a completely different strategy, which was fun. And
yep,
so, but it was it was a really enjoyable game overall. Like Alex, great recommendation because it kind of it's
yes,
a game I've wanted to get to the table, but this put us in that position. This is why I love this. Like it's your turn, where it's like, hey, we want to honor the emails that are coming in, and so like again, if we don't respond to you right away, like we're seeing them. It's just life's going, and
yeah,
but we're collecting them. And so like now it puts it into that like, hey, like yeah, duh, like of course we want to play this, and now we have a reason to, and so it just kind of elevates that up the list. And so really, really glad that we got it to the table. That is a game that I will play again. And when my brother-in-law takes his copy, unfortunately, it's probably one that I'm going to end up picking up because like it's really good, and it's one that I want because I think there's a lot to the kind of the teach, but I think like now I could, because I went back through and had kind of taught it this time as well, even though you had played it the one time like 2 years ago, went back and then everything was coming back to you. Now that I've
hmm
taught it one time, I feel like I could teach it again and would be able
yeah.
to tighten that up a little bit and make the teach
Not
a
hard to
little better.
grasp at all. Yeah.
No. And then those crystal caverns, man, like that was a little bit of a bummer. And like
Oh
going in
yeah.
there, like, oh, we just lost our movements because you're like going into these crystal caverns. And when you're in a crystal cavern, you cannot move anymore. Your boots just run out. You're stuck. Your turn ends. And that's, well, from that perspective.
hmm
But unless you had a special card that allowed you to like go through. And then I had a card that was like, hey, if you're in a crystal cavern, then you can remove Clank. But anytime I was in there, I never had Clank sitting on the board. Or I was like,
it
come on, bro.
it's hard to line that up
Yep.
perfectly so that you can get that clank off. Another thing that I enjoyed about it was you can't really thin your deck. Like there are very limited
Yeah.
cards that allow you to
Some do.
thin your deck out. There are some here and there, but none that are like the stumble that are going to increase your clank. Most
Yeah.
of the cards that have clank on them, you're going to be stuck with that. So
Oh
you're
yeah.
down there making a lot of noise. And I like the jokes that were happening at the table. Like we're just so clumsy down here trying to get this treasure.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Oh yeah.
dragon, I'm right here. It was
Well, and
great.
the flavor text on the game is
Yeah,
fantastic. Like it just
yeah, it's
says like,
good.
"Hey, honey, is their artifact cooler than my artifact?" Or like it has like these really hilarious flavor text.
Uh-huh.
Overall, huge win. I mean, I had played the OG, right? But I enjoyed Catacombs more.
Mm.
And it's my understanding like they just released a new expansion that like started arriving to people's houses because people were like, "Oh, I got the Clank expansion." I was like,
Oh,
I don't see that. I don't see that, like I
yeah.
can't do
Take
that
my
right
money
now.
now.
No. But yeah, it's definitely one I want to add to the collection. Lots and lots of fun.
hmm
It was definitely worth the play. So,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. And then we actually got to play another game, which we've talked about on the podcast, but I kept saying like I don't want to really dive into it until I get to play it with Ray. And that is Emberheart from Mind Clash Games. Um, Man, oh man, I absolutely love this game, and I've kind of
Mm.
said that a little bit in the episodes where I was like really enjoyed it, and at one point I was like, I don't think I want to go so far to say like it's my game of the year, but I'm pretty sure it's my game of the year. Like
Mm.
the game is fantastic, and I'll kind of give the rundown on this one. It's a worker placement game, but it's more than that, right? Like it's a worker placement game, but it has this bidding mechanic, and you have these hirelings, and you have these grunts, you have the the rangers, you have
Mm.
the scouts, and you have these wardens, and the grunts can go anywhere on the board, but they kind of act like your currency. So the board is laid out with various worker placement spaces, and then it has numbers 1 through 5, and basically you're allocating however many workers you want to go on, and that's when you're placing that. So if you wanted to go on the 5, you're going to place 5 workers, and they're either going to be 5 grunts or it's going to be a combination of grunts and a particular worker type that space would require, like the scout, the ranger, or the warden. And the grunts, again, they're going to be spent, so you'll be throwing them out like money, but the experts you're gonna get to keep, and then like go through it. And the theme is pretty much how to train your dragon. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it is. You have a dragon companion, and you're trying. It's how to train your dragon too, honestly, because you're going in and you're trying to free dragons from poachers. You also can climb up this mountain and collect other dragons. You're getting these end game things. You can go to the tavern to recruit more workers. You can get heroes, which the hero cards are multi-use in that they have like an in-game thing you can do, but they also have end-game scoring if you should meet the requirements. But you have to attach a dragon to them, so they have to have like a dragon companion, and then you get like your dragon companion meeple. And when you do that, you have a player board that you've been upgrading that allows you to get special things, like you can use less grunts, and then so they have less workers that are required for a particular location. You can get more gear, and the gear allows you to upgrade, and then you can go down in the fire tracker, and the fire tracker is cool because as you get more fire, you would think that's a good thing in a game of dragons, but it's really not. And the tracker is like the distance between the furthest player on the tracker and the lowest player, and then it's a point total. And if you're the furthest on the track, you don't score anything, but then it's like got a tracker of like, oh, I was 10 spaces away, which is 20 additional points, which is Ray learned in the play that was a very difficult thing, because that was his strategy. Very
difficult. Yeah.
As soon as I saw him start going that way, I was like, Ray's gonna learn real quick that's not gonna work.
It's impossible.
Yeah, and it didn't. It was awesome. But again, Ray still won. Spoiler. But it was another game where my wife Stephanie was at the table, and then we had a young man named Tyshawn who has been in the ministry with us at Youth for Christ for a while, and so the four of us are playing. And again, I looked right at Tyshawn. I said, Tyshawn, Ray, and Stephanie, that's it. Like, you and I are just here to have some fun and enjoy the game. And I actually came in last. Like, Tyshawn picked it up. He beat me by like 7 points, and I was like, all right, cool. Again, I'm just here to have fun. But we had a really great time. But again, you're moving your workers around, you're doing these things, you're trying to complete these almost like quests, because you have different cards. Like, you have these garrison cards that you can actually meet in-game conditions, which are going to allow you to increase your tracker for your dragon to do the upgrades. And it's a very thinky, puzzly worker placement. Like, everyone in the beginning was like, wow, this is moving really quickly. And then we're like, wow, this took us 2 hours to play, because we were playing at a full player count, but also the decisions, every decision matters. And it's important. Like, even early on, it might not be as important, but by the time you're in round 2, you're already like, hold on.
It catches you real quick that how important each movement is and what you need to be going after.
Right.
Because that bidding mechanic, that's the thing that throws it off. So I didn't realize, I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna bid the highest because I'm getting this card, not knowing, like you said, my strategy was just try to get distance on the flame tracker, on the fire tracker, and get that 20 points, because I figured that'd probably be pretty advantageous at the end of the game. But then, like you were saying, so those grunts, the lower guys, they're currency, and you lose them after you bid, after the round. And so every time you want to get more, you have to go to the space to get them. It's the workshop, not the workshop, I'm sorry, the warehouse, right?
Yep.
Is
where those special spaces.
Yep, you have a couple special spaces, and special spaces, and to get 4 more workers, you have to go up 1 on the flame tracker.
Yep.
And you're spending workers because, like, you might go middle of the line to bid 3, but somebody's going to outbid you guaranteed. And so you're in this constant tightrope of like, man, do I want to bid more? How many workers do I have? Where am I at on the flame tracker? Where am I at on this? What do I need? Which dragon do I need to connect these cars? There, like you said, it is very thinky. Gosh, I can't talk tonight.
You're
That's
doing
okay.
Great.
That's Hey, great. Thanks, Joe. I just learned to speak.
I'm doing very thinkly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, it is. It's funny because, like, I think we were in some of the later rounds, and I was like, gosh, there is so much tension in this game on every movement, and what you're trying to achieve it's amazing, but it's so fun at the same time, trying to make that puzzle work and fit, and getting your points and achieving and switching out. You have your gear that you were mentioning there, look like little armor coats, and you can switch those out so you can trade at a 1-to-1 ratio, the grunts for the experts, and then the
Well, and an
experts come.
expert, yeah, experts, you can trade those
Or
out as
expert
well.
for it,
Yeah.
but they
Yep.
come back to you at the end. So you're not
Correct.
always spending currency, but it's still a balance of, because it's not like those gear tokens are just flippantly given. You know, you got to
No.
earn those too, and it's
Yeah.
like every single move matters.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, I was like, oh, I see. You need to work on your tracker, your player mat, like to get your dragon tracker and all these
Yeah.
other spaces advanced, because that's going to be huge help when you're using your dragon companion and
Yep.
you're getting that token out to be able to use these things to your advantage to buy it for
100%.
less and get more gear. So then you can exchange, go down on the fire tracker. Like, you know, for anybody that's going to play Emberheart, my advice to you is use your dragon tracker, your game
Player
board
mat.
there,
Yeah.
your player mat, man, and work to get that thing upgraded as fast as possible, because that is going to be of utmost importance and helpful to win the game for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. So, like, the first time I played it, the first time I played it was a game changer, and you're just learning the game. The second time when I played it with Stephanie and Asher, Stephanie, like, didn't even focus on the heroes, where I focused majority on the heroes. You know what I mean? And, like,
Yeah.
she ended up winning. But this time she focused more on the heroes and, like, still did really well. She thought she had you. She was like, man, I thought I beat Ray. But then at
Well,
the end, he
I
just
heard
pulled
her
it
say,
out.
like, you were like, how much did you have? And I heard she didn't say a number. So like, as I'm
Yeah.
adding up,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, oh, she
yeah.
doesn't want me to know.
She doesn't want me to know. Yeah. So I was like, oh man. But again, like, what was cool about it too is that, like, Tyshawn, like, he loves to play games. Like, he'll play a lot of
Yep.
games with us, but he would not put himself in the gamer category. I just think he, like, loves to do it, right? Like, he's like
Yeah.
our buddy Phil, right? He'll play anything. He's like, I don't care. I just want to play. And so he said at the end, he's like, man, at the end I started really picking it up because Stephanie kind of showed him some things. He was like, oh, and he's like, yeah, I would play that differently. And even with that, he still came in third. I mean, it was a relatively close game. Like, it was close
Yep.
between you and Stephanie, and it was close between Tyshawn and I. But it was just like, it was just a fun game, and I felt that tension. And this is the first time playing it with 4 players, which I loved, because I was like, man, 4 players, it makes much more tension than a 3-player game. Like, a 3-player game, you kind of feel like you can do just about anything. But in a
Right.
4-player game, you're like, oh my gosh, like, man, I want to go here, but I know that and I'm looking around like, oh, and then and Stephanie was always like, she either, like, because she was before me, and, like, however it worked out, whatever, she would always take
Yep.
the one thing, and I'm like, now I'm not going to get what I need, so now I got to figure out how to do all
So
this.
many times you were like, Stephanie Lynn, why would you do that?
Right,
You,
like,
it was like, you were just,
I was having
it was
too
so
much fun.
funny. Every
And-
turn, it was
Yeah.
like, Stephanie Lynn, why did you go there?
She was cracking up, and she's like, I just went there because I knew you wanted it, and I was
Yeah.
like,
oh man, it
man.
was a great time.
Yeah, had an absolute blast. But I just think that game is well worth the play. It's Andrew Bosley
Yeah.
Art who did Everdell, and it's just a beautiful game. But it is
Sure
so
is.
much more to me than a worker placement. Yes, it has the worker placement elements because you're placing in certain places, but you're drafting these cards. And I don't know if we even
Right.
mentioned that. So, like, that's why it matters. Like, your bidding matters because you're drafting particular cards, and you
Right.
need to color code your dragons, and you need to make sure that you're getting the right preserves, and you're doing these things, and then are you matching your heroes, because your hero power and end game thing doesn't matter unless you have the right color dragon attached to it. And then you have these wild dragons, which I went for a lot of those, but they don't score a lot of points at the end of the game. So I was like, but they increase your fire. And so it was all sorts of stuff that go on
Yeah.
in that. But it's like that tension in that draft that it's occurring, because you're like, I need that blue, and there's only
Yeah.
one blue on there. And so, like, I have to spend all these guys. But in a 3-player game, it doesn't feel that way as much, right? Because in a 3-player game, you don't have that 4th player that's also, in that
Right.
space in this
Vying for
bidding.
the
And
same spot. Yeah.
and again, it was great at 3 players. I love it at 3 players. I played it twice at 3 players, thought it was phenomenal. At 4 players, though, man, what a different game to some degree, right? Just because that extra player adds just a little bit more tension, where you're like, oh, yeah, that's tough, because one of us is not getting a card, right?
Yep.
So it's
not the one you wanted for sure.
right. But then I also love it because you have those aids, and you can take an aid, and one of the aids allows you to, like, reallocate one of your they call it a party, like one of your parties, and you can add to it or you can move it to the space. And in a 4-player game, I could see that piece is a lot more advantageous. Where in a 3-player game, it's not necessarily, unless you're like, well, honestly, I know they're going to take the card I need and I'm just going to get out of here and go somewhere else. But in a 4-player game, it's like, dang, bro, no one took that 5 spot. Yeah, I'm going to move this. I'm going to reallocate it. I'm going to take it, or I'm just going to get out of here because I'm not getting a card. Like I'm too low on the pole here, so I'm going to move. I went to 2. Everybody else went, 3, 4, 5. I'm not getting one, so I'm going to reallocate this. Super fun.
Yep.
I love that game. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and will play it any chance I can get it to the table. So, but I'm glad we got to play it together. And again, also to have Tyshawn come, which was super fun. And for him to step into a game that's a little heavier than he's accustomed, and he did well. And again, he just needed a couple like, oh, you could do this and this, and he's like, oh. Got it. Yep. And he was like, he even said he just came out of wrestling practice. He's like, I am tossed right now. But I thought even with that, he really
he did great. He
out.
did great. And that's kind of like one of my own personal tabletop testimonies. Because when I mentioned to you, he's I kind of been trying to mentor him. I pick him up, take him to church, and we have a good relationship. And just looking for more ways to spend time with him and just be engaging. And so I was like, hey man, I'm going to a game night over at Joe's. You want to come? He's like, yeah. So I picked him up from school, and we got to talk the whole way there, play the game, talk to him the whole way home, and just had some great conversation. And so just another one of those times that board games brought together the fellowship and the opportunity for conversation and be able to talk about life things and bringing people together. And so I was thankful for that. So my own mini testimony there from the table,
And Tyshawn's awesome. He's an amazing
wonderful,
young man.
Amazing young man. Yeah, he's got a very bright future, man. Loves God
doubt.
and just very smart and driven. And I'm excited to see what God has in store for him in life.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. So it was super fun. Yeah. So those are the 2 games, man. We got Clank, Catacombs, and Emberheart to the table, which is awesome. And we'll have more here. We're kind of ramping towards the end of the season, so there's one more episode after this. But because y'all notice we're gonna do it, we are gonna be rocking a bonus episode for the Christmas time. So be paying attention.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, because last year was a lot of fun with the Christmas episode. So I'm excited to come back to it. And we want to do that annually. So a couple more episodes here. But with that, we are actually going to transition, because last episode we wanted to talk about like faith-based games, faith-based creatives, and all those kind of things. And we actually ran out of time because we were talking so much about the 3 games we played with Line of Judah, 12, and the Great Commission, the strategic card game. And we spent a lot of time talking about those games, which I think is good. I think those games need to be talked about, but we were like, we didn't actually get into anything about our, the faith-based conversation and all that. And so we thought it would be a great time to do that. And with that, though, before like we fully dive into this, I want to set the stage a little bit, because I had made a joke in the Christian Board Gamers group. I had made a post about like how like, yay, finally a game that isn't, a Bible game that isn't animals and arcs and all this kind of stuff. And a couple people were like, maybe took didn't take it serious, but I was just kind of joking and just playing with an ad and had come across, this thing, and would just threw it out there with my game, not being anything to do with although there is an arc in the game, ironically enough, it's one of the upgrades, but, there's no animals and all that. But what happened and kind of generated the conversation, and even want to go through this, was kind of that post, because someone was like, yeah, this post would have been great 10 years ago, but not now. There's a ton of like excellent Christian games, and they listed some. But I was kind of at that, like when I looked at the list, I was like, hey, look, like I was just joking. Like, yes, like Christian games have developed, but I can't really think of more than maybe 15, and that would probably be pushing it, of like what I would consider excellent Bible-based games. Right. And so my point is that doesn't feel like a lot in an industry where thousands of games are released every year. And so for me, it was like, I was like, man, am I missing something? Right. Because when they shared that, I was like, oh, maybe there's more that I'm just not aware of that aren't in the vein of Bible trivia or, animals on a boat. or an arc, excuse
Mm-hmm.
me, type games. But I was like, but I don't think so, because I can't seem to come across them. And then to even put them in the category of excellent, right? Like this means like, I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
And why not? And are we heading in that direction where we're going to get more and more faith-based gaming content? So I kind of made a
Sure.
joke, and then this person kind of brought that up, and we talked through. I mean, they weren't mad at me. They were just like, "Yeah, I feel like this is 10 years too late." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." And and someone else commented, they're like, "It's unfortunately funny about this is 90% of the games are that way." And I'm like, "Right, it feels that way to me."
Yeah.
Where they're more just like, again, Bible trivia and those kind of things. And I think all those games have their place. I am not against that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I said, it was a joke, but it brought that conversation to the forefront of my mind, where it was
Sure.
like, man, like, one, am I missing some of these games? And that's cool. And I haven't played all of them, right? Like I just haven't. But
Yeah.
then it's also like, okay, is 15 a lot in the scope of a thousands, right? And I would contend it's not.
No.
But simultaneously, I mean, I guess it just depends on what the sample size is, right? And so it just got me thinking,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would agree. I think that out of if we take anything, let's strip board games being the subject matter here and
Yeah.
say out of thousands in this one particular area of a certain category, this genre, there are maybe 15 or 20 excellent. That's not very many. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You get where I'm going with that. So that's what like and so now bring board games back into if that analogy made sense to anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so bring board games back into it and you're like, yeah, in the scope of like all the games that come out that are excellent, that make it to the BGG top 100 list and that people talk about and have on their shelves constantly and want to replay and stuff, like if you talk about like, yeah, hey, the same 15 or 20 Christian themed games are the ones that are being talked about, that like these are the ones that people love, that they rank
Mhm.
high on the list, that they hit the mark. That is not a lot in the grand scope of things. And I think that as Christians, like we've talked about this before in our episodes, that we have been given the gifts that God has given us to be creative. Like
Yeah.
He's a creator, we are to be creators as well. And we have amazing gifts and talents and ability to create things. And so you would think that the amount of people who are following Jesus that also love board games, love to be creative and have the mind of Christ, to the capability of be able to create and think exceptional and are smart and intellectual and all these things, like there would be many, many more games that it would be like, oh yeah, there's tons and tons of games, like,
Yeah.
but like even doing a quick Google search of like Christian board games for adults, it's all like trivia games
Yep.
and
Yeah.
Monopoly repurposed in a Christian theme,
Mhm.
something of that sort. It's not like a Deliverance or
Right.
like Ezra and Nehemiah or something of that sort. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
think you're totally right with that. I think that it does warrant the conversation and taking a look at like what are those titles, and
Right.
even if it is 50 in the grand scope of the thousands of games that are out there, that's
Right.
still not a lot. And we are a creative population of people that should be in that space, right?
Sure. And now that's not to say there aren't tons of Christian designers that are successful that aren't designing biblical games, right? That are
Uh-huh.
designing games that are maybe adjacent or again, they're benign in their theme, right? Like that's real, that's out there, that happens. But again, when I just look at faith-based games specifically, I feel like, man, there's so much room for that, right? Like
Yeah.
when I set out to like start with Victory and I was beginning this process, again, I looked at that kind of that landscape and I'm like, there seems to be a lot of room here to create something. Now, in particular, and where the joke even kind of came from is that Victory is an urban anime setting, right? It's like Power Rangers, bro. Like there's mechs and all this, but it's very biblical. It's in its play. in its theming. It's Christ centric. It's Bible centric, and so there's so much to that. But yet it's set in this like urban anime style. Like my illustrator has got this really dope style, and it's just like, it just has a more of an abstract vibe, right? Like you're basically going through a city, and like there's just different things in that, and like Deliverance and some of these things where it's not historical. Right. Like Ezra Nehemiah, the game's based on history. It's a historical, biblically based game. Right. And they even say, hey, we're just kind of doing the history thing with that. Right. Even though we know Shem is a believer, it's just like, this is it's part of our history anthology. And these are what we're doing. And that works really well. Right. And you can see behind me over here is like commissioned. Right. That's more in the history vein. Three Magi, that's going to be hitting tables soon. Again, that's more in the history vein. The Flood, even though it's a competitive version of the world being destroyed in God's judgment, it's still historical, right? And so like Victory it's more abstract. I would say Deliverance is abstract, right? Like it's getting in that space. And I don't mean abstract in like not like what the heck? Azul, not abstract like in that way. I just mean like it's not historical. It's different. It's dealing with different things. And I was just like, man, there's not a ton of that out there. And so like, and that's how I create. I want to create something cool, and we already had the Meek Heroes IP through all the music and all that jazz. So I'm like, yo, this would be a super dope game. But I didn't see a lot of that in the throws like out there. And so for me, that's what generated a lot of that. And it's like, man, like, can we get creative with this and explore the biblical space where we're playing games that have great, rich theological constructs in them, but they're not necessarily arc or animals on the arc or like trivia, right? But but they're different, that they have like, you take it into a different scope, like you're not just focusing on the historical. And so that's what I set out a lot to do with Victory, where it was like, can we create a game that's super fun, that uses a lot of more modern board game elements, but is more like it's got a different type of lore, even though it's very, very biblically centered. And so there's tons of that. But I think this is true in all creative spaces, right? Like we've talked about it in early episodes of when we started the podcast out, where it's like, I think God is starting to shift us. Like Andrew Lowen talks about this. He and I had the conversation. I think he talked about it in when we interviewed him. He might have brought it up, but we talked about how like we're seeing God shift in this space, and it's in the board gaming space, kind of like what he did back in the 90s and 2000s with Christian music, where all of a sudden it just exploded on the scene, and now you're getting these quality bands, because it was always like the cheese, right? It was like the carbon copy pop band, or like just kind of like something that's a little more cheesy. But now you're finding Christian music in every genre, and it's just exploded. And it's like, as a metalhead, I'm like, bro, there's bands out here that are screaming at the top of their lungs for Jesus with dope breakdowns. And then like even movies, right? And this is where I find it to be interesting too, is like, when you start watching the earlier Christian films, we would all kind of be like, yeah, they're cringe, but they're like, we want to watch them because they're safe content. And now that is developing and getting better and growing in that. And so here's my fun segue on this, because I think this is super cool, guys. We've been joking for the last like several episodes about how Ray is the most famous person on this podcast, and having fun with that. But what you guys don't know, and I don't know if you've even mentioned it along the way, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't think so. So this is like supreme drop. So. Yeah. But Ray, Mr. Ray Fields here, bro, is about to hit the big screen, which is crazy, because Ray has a speaking part in a movie that is getting set to release. Well, I don't know exactly when the release date is.
Yeah,
Ray.
2026. It'll be 2026, probably about this time, or fall, late summer, early fall 2026.
Yeah, dope. Yeah. So a year or so from now, because I know that they're editing and all that. Mm-hmm. But Ray's friends have set out to make a really cool Christian movie, like a Christ-centric movie. And I've seen some behind the scenes photos, and Ray showed me some cool stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing, that's awesome. Yeah. And then today Ray shows me the trailer, and I'm like,
the official trailer dropped on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so I'll say, a buddy of mine that I'd met in church years ago, and just walked through life with him before he had a family, before I was married, and just became a very dear brother in the faith together, and just somebody who I just consider a brother. And he has a twin brother actually. And so they grew up and just love film, love comedy, did improv and stand-up comedy and this and that, and kind of had their passions and their dreams squashed a little bit. That's a long story, but they always had it in them to say, hey, we want to make something great for Jesus. And we want, like, they love the cinematics and they love the cinematography and the beautiful shots, and always felt like you were just saying, that Christian films were always so stereotypical, and you knew what was coming, and the lines were always going to be just so it was so calculated. And so they set out, they did some short films, they won a bunch of awards at their short films, and then they were like, hey, we're doing this, we're making a feature film. And they were like, we want this to be beautiful, we want this to be something that glorifies God, and we want this to be something that we can walk away and be proud of, and people will love to watch. And so, man, when I tell you, when I was on set, seeing how they were getting some of these shots and seeing the passion and the drive that they have, and just knowing them and knowing how much they glorify God and love God, and just want to do all things well, I was like, yeah, this is going to be amazing. So when the trailer came out, I was like, okay, yeah, this is it right here. So yeah, it was exciting.
It's a really well done trailer. I think the movie actually, like, when I watched the trailer today, I was like, yeah, this is dope, bro. Would definitely watch this. And I love the cinematography. I feel like they've done a really good job. They're capturing some pretty raw stuff, which is really cool. And so I'm excited to see the whole of the film. And we thought, for y'all as our listening audience, and hopefully our watching audience on YouTube, we actually thought it'd be cool if we dropped the trailer in this podcast. If you're listening, you're only going to be able to hear it, which I still think would carry, but you're going to miss some of the dynamic. So if you're listening, head on over to YouTube to actually watch this part. But we're going to actually play the trailer, and the movie is called Just One More. And we're going to play the trailer, we're going to drop it, and we're actually going to just come right back, and then we're going to end this episode because we've gone super long, and so that's just what it is. It's been one of those goofy, wild nights. But we wanted to play the trailer. We've got permission from Ray's friends to actually drop this in here.
The Cook brothers at so the Cook brothers are the directors, producers of the movie here, and my friends there, Caleb and Kyler Cook, and their vision for this was just a real raw look at what addiction looks like in the context of how the church deals with it, and that's what they wanted this movie to come across as. And so that's what you're going to kind of see in this trailer. It's gritty, and it's just what I think is going to be an amazing film for the kingdom.
Dope. Yeah, so with that, we're going to give you the Just One More trailer.
I'm here because I lied to myself. And I told myself I could be around it again.
That's great. That's honest. So where do we go from here?
I get back up, take control, and hopefully get my family back.
Use me, Lord. Let me see just one more save.
Can I tell you something? I think Jesus wants you to know.
Hey, Jess. I just want to see you.
How did you know I was here? Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Please.
No.
Please.
So good!
How do we really know if people love us if we never put it to the test?
Listen, Jess, I know life is awful at times, all right? I know that.
Jess, what's wrong?
I'm fine.
And I know there are things that are so hard to let go of.
I want to believe like you guys do. At times in my life, I've reached out to God, but nothing happened. I felt nothing.
you keep reaching, he's gonna be that, Jess. And I can't wait to see that.
I think we're all addicts to some degree. And the last addiction each of us has to face is this belief that somehow we can save ourselves.
I'm sorry.
But it's impossible.
So again, just one more. I hope you enjoyed that trailer look. I think that's fire. I'm really excited about the movie. Plus, I want to see Ray's part, right? Like, I want to see Ray, like, just straight up.
I'm a little
like,
nervous. I'm a little nervous to see, to be honest. I was nervous going in. It was my first. I mean, I've done acting before, never in this setting though. And so I was nervous. They were like real people who like, there's some famous people in the movie actually. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, hopefully I do. I said I want to do something that my family can watch and be proud of, and I can when my kids get older, they can be like, wow, that was my dad, you know. So
yeah. I think it's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. And so yeah, so hopefully y'all enjoyed that. But again, even our discussion on just like faith-based content in general, what are y'all seeing? If you got games that you're like, man, like y'all should check out XYZ thing. I mean, I would argue we probably know most of the staples that are out there, like the King of Solomon and or Wisdom of Solomon and Deliverance and all those games. But like, again, if you're like, yo, you should check out XYZ thing, like, we're not pretending to have it all seen and figured out. This is just on our own observation and what we're seeing. But also, what are your thoughts as it relates to the faith-based scene in board games in particular? But we can talk about a wide variety of topics in that. But if you've been sticking with us, man, as always, we are so thankful that you'll take the time to listen and rock with us. We have a blast doing this, and we've been so encouraged by the community. We've got a lot of really fun thoughts moving forward for season 5 and just things we want to start leaning into. Eventually, Ray and I want to do this thing together, like in the same space, and we're trying to figure out all this stuff, like, because we think it'd be a lot of fun. But we just really appreciate y'all as we learn and we grow. We're in this, man. We really just want to glorify Jesus with our content, and so we hope that it's entertaining, but also that Christ be glorified in that. Amen. So as always, we want to leave you with Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before others so they may see your good works and glorify our Father who is in heaven. We appreciate y'all. Till next time, God bless. Peace.
Peace.